Hey there. Putting together this little video on kind of my journey on learning how to work on, repair, and adjust compound bows, kind of being self-taught and doing things all on my own. So kind of quick story behind this. I got into archery randomly during COVID. It's like, oh, it's cool. Actually, I listened to Ted Nugent, his podcast with Joe Rogan, his first one. That got me interested in archery. I went out and we didn't go out. It was COVID, so we all got locked in our houses. I went on eBay and I bought this recurve bow. This is some type of bear bow. It says it's a Sears class-powered Raven by Bear, so probably a bear bow that was, exclusively sold through Sears. It's a nice little bow. I like shooting it for fun. Traditional archery's pretty tricky. So a little while later, I was like last year, one of my friends, he asked, he's like, hey, would you want a bow? His dad had this bow for some years and is essentially blind, is unable to shoot it anymore. He's like, if you don't take it, I'll just be throwing it away. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. The string was in good enough shape that I shot it for a year. I took it out last season and I didn't have any luck. It was my first year really going out into a tree stand hunting. So it's a Ben Pearson. The model, it says a Striker Pro on the tag. I have yet to find any information on Ben Pearson having a Striker Pro model. Nonetheless, that's what it is. So after that last season, the string was pretty beat up. And there are no bow techs in my area. I basically would have to drive about 2 hours to go find somebody that does bow work professionally. So what I decided to do was, well, I'll teach myself how to do it. I'll give it a try. I know I could buy strings relatively affordable online. And then I also, the big trick was figuring out how to press down the bow. So I found one of these Buckmaster bow presses on eBay. I got a good deal on this. It was about 50 bucks, and it came with the carrying bag right here. It came with the split limb brackets, which I'm going to need for this next bow I'm working on. But so I pressed that bow all by myself. I got the strings. I learned a lot right off the bat. I didn't pay close attention to where the strings and cables, what order they went in around the pulleys. And yeah, it was a little bit trial and error, but I got it figured out. I got strung up. It shoots as well as I shoot. Again, I'm pretty new to archery, so my consistency is a little iffy. And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do this again. This is how I'm going to get experience. Hopefully I can get into a couple bows and fix them up, get them shootable, and then maybe the next year or so I can start working on other people's bows in the area. There's quite a hole in the market if I can learn how to do this, and I'm all about learning useful skills. So this video I'm going to be working on, this is a Jennings Buckmaster. By my understanding, Jennings Archery was bought out by Bear Archery for a while. I don't know, obviously this is a dinosaur. This is probably from the early 2000s. It is a single cam, and I'm learning terminology and whatnot. So it's got the idler wheel on the top, and then it's got the oblong, kind of what you'd normally associate with a cam on the bottom. These strings are shot. They need to be replaced, and that's what I aim to do. I aim to get into this bow. I've loosened up the limb bolts. Before I did that, I measured axle to axle length, and I measured brace height. Since this isn't my bow, I am not overly worried about where the peep was located. D-loop, I feel like that's going to be somewhat consistent. This arrow rest I've never seen before. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm interested and excited to get into this thing. So I've loosened up the limb bolts to take some heat off the limbs, and now I'm going to press the bow. So I put these on the inside here, like this. And it's been kind of a fun process. I don't know if you can see, but I've got this is my back garage. We live in a small town. My wife's got her own little small garage up front, and this is just kind of my place to be a dude. I got my home gym in here. I train a couple kids. Professionally, I'm an elementary PE teacher at a private school here in town. So I'm out just living the dream every day. But yeah, this is kind of, I feel like man cave is kind of an overused term, but more or less it is. I've got plenty of room in here to tinker with things, and get into my various hobbies. So right now I'm just getting things adjusted. This side is the side where you adjust the peg. All right, we'll start pressing this hog down. And I'm gonna fully disassemble this bow. As old and as rough a shape as it is in, I'm thinking it's going to need to be cleaned up. I can't imagine how squeaky these limbs are gonna be. Drawing them back for the first time, and I'm just checking to make sure these pockets, these brackets are on there pretty good. These older bows, they're not, honestly, this one's almost shaped like a recurve at the tips compared to the Pearson that I've worked on previously. It's a little bit more like a D-shaped bow, or modern compounds, you're getting parallel, or I guess, I don't know if the term would be past parallel. Okay, we're good. So yeah, so you crank it, it is set up. I don't know if I have the right wrench. I was building one of my deer stands earlier today. Yeah, it's not big enough. But you can put a wrench on here or a socket, and that can help you get a little bit extra leverage to get the things off. So my string, that's the top one here. I'm gonna give it a few more cranks yet. And my system is not perfect, but at least allows me to make some mistakes and learn as I go. That's how I learn best. I like to make mistakes and figure things out. And this Buckmaster bow press has been, it's been pretty safe for me. It stays on there snug. I'm not where I probably should be wearing safety glasses, but alas, I am not. And I'm also learning, like, okay, what tools do I need to get this type of work done? Oh boy. Okay, so that's the string coming off. And I took a picture before I started pressing this thing down. So I have an idea. I know what string goes where on this. Okay. In terms of where the cable goes. Okay, so this is the string. So it'll go on the far away one on the cable slide. Yeah, and this string is just, it is shot. Shot, shot, shot. Like I wasn't even gonna even attempt to draw this thing back. It was in that rough a shape. One thing I would like to do, get something to hold this bow down a little bit better, as it is a little dodgy. Wiggling back and forth. All right, so got that part. This is the last part that's got to come out. Whoa. 180 here. Off the loop. Yeah, I'm interested to know how many people like me kind of got into skills like this during COVID. As a teacher, it was dumb. It was so dumb. Not to get too far into it. And I helped serve meals and whatnot, and deliver meals to some of the low-income people in my community. But yeah, essentially, I got a paycheck for not much, and I shot a lot of arrows around that time because I didn't have anything else to do. Did a lot of fishing too. But yeah, it's just a fun little hobby that I picked up, and I'm interested to grow into it. I've got 3 kids. I've got 4. Daughter just turned 4. My son's about to turn 2, and I have a newborn. She was born on May 10th, so she's getting close to a month old here. And I want my kids to have an appreciation for outdoor skills as well. So, okay, so that goes on. Take a picture of that. One thing I have learned is like, don't be afraid to take pictures of things, for sure. Take a picture of this just so that way I can see that cable runs under there. And this little tool has been pretty handy to get, especially getting strings and cables off. They can sit in there kind of funky. Okay. And now I'm wondering if I don't know if I'll be able to take it apart. So because if I were to unwind this all the way, I think there'd still be a decent amount of tension on the limbs. So what I might be doing, I might just be putting this new string back on, cleaning things up the best that I can with what I have. Just making sure things are squared away. Give it a little bit of lube too, make sure everything's moving as it should. That's some bite to it. And the idler wheel looks like this was dropped, kind of dinged up a little bit. The best way to clean that up would be, I don't want those sharp edges getting to the string and serving. That might be okay. Just have to pay attention to that. Actually, I wonder. I'll grab some sandpaper and see if I can wear that down. Okay. Got something pretty brisk. 80 grit, we'll see. And I have high expectations from able to grind this down. I guess I got a file. I should probably just go get my file. Files will work better for metal. So already right here I'm learning like, hey, I need a rasp or a file in my archery stuff in case I have any of these cams or idlers that got some brickleberries on them. Which, like, an old bow like this, like, I know it's gonna have. I knew buying. So my rule is I'm not gonna buy a bow to work on for more than $50 shipped to my door, and that is not an easy task always. The shipping on these odd things it's a little expensive. I think that looks better. I'm gonna put some white lithium. I'll spray into this idler wheel here. extendo tool for the grease can. Let's see here. I'm going to keep that. I don't think it's a good idea moving that right now. A little bit more in there. We'll be generous. Be very generous with our white lithium grease, and we'll just make sure we wipe it off when I get everything unpressed. Okay. That. Also, what I'm doing to kind of assess, like, is there anything that does need to be filed down? As I'm running, should have some. I need some Q-tips out here too. That would work probably. But actually, let me think. I might have some Q-tips. We in business. Okay. So I'm gonna run this through track where the string cable run. Just get some of the dirt, grime. This thing, I mean, you can tell it was sitting around for a while, which is all good. You know, it's this bow is, if it was bought in 2002, put it at 20. The bow is old enough to buy a drink, so. Has some miles on it. Hopefully she put some deer down too. Yeah, so what I'm really thinking in terms of safety is I need something to buckle this bow down. This is just something I kind of built when I was messing around with my recurves, to keep them in one spot or to restring them a little bit. So that's on the list. Next month I'm probably going to build a draw board. That'll be the next thing that I'm going to need. Okay, so let's see what we're cooking with here. This looks like the string. Pull up my picture. So this string from Game Edge Custom Bowstrings. Found out if you just kind of go on eBay, type in the model of bow you need, even these older bows, you can pull stuff up. And like that Ben Pearson, I could not find for the life of me any model called a Striker Pro. So I just gave the guy the measurements. You know, the measurements are on the limb sticker, which is good. All right, so this is going to go. So I'm being careful not to let this string untwist. Kind of a trick, so I've been told. I won't lie to you, the first one I did, yeah, that string untwisted a little bit. Yes, she did. All right, we're going up and around. She doesn't click into guard. You know, I won't worry about the guard just yet. We'll get this going first. This through. All right, this is a nice looking string too. The first one I bought, I won't lie to you, I wasn't real pleased with it. It sure seemed like it had there was a lot of stretch to it. I had a lot of peep rotation. It took a lot of messing around with it, I felt, to get that straightened out. Okay. Check the picture again. press, take a little bit more tension off the limbs. I think we need a little bit more slack to get the string on. Dog. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and press it out a little bit more. A couple twisties. Now the other reason why I got into this bow was because it's a single cam, and I wanted some experience working with a different type of bow pulley system than my initial one. That one was a dual cam, which it seems to me that's probably one of the more popular kinds that I'm going to run into as I do work on bows. So I need to get this bow to turn that right easier. And if anybody is actually watching this and you're watching me do this, you're probably like, holy cow, what are you doing, you moron? Yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. You know, as long as my trial and error doesn't involve blowing a bow up and hurting myself, which I feel pretty confident I'm going to be okay with the setup that I have. Eventually, as I get into this and I get a little bit more confident with it, I would like to get an easy bow press. Those sure seem pretty nice and fancy. All right, there we go. String is on. We're on the idler. This will go into the guide there. Okay. We're doing it. We're out here, we're living. We're doing it. 207. Doing stuff like this is kind of my kids are having nap time projects. Okay. So this is the one I took a picture of. I'm going to have to go through here. Hook it on. Okay, good there. Pretty sure. I mean, I can already tell. I wish I'd be a little bit more. Yeah, I definitely need to come up with a system to hold this down. I would have liked to have handled this a little bit more delicately, where I would not be. Oh man, baby, that's gonna be tight. It's gonna be real tight. I need to press this sucker down quite a bit. Check my picture. So that's going through there. So right now I'm doing the cable. That's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to make sure I've got things correct. Okay, it's going there. It's got kind of a split here. I don't know if it's always called a split bus or what. I wonder, would it be easier? Should I have done the cable first? That's the big question. I think I'm going to do the cable first, because then I might be able to move the cams around then if I do it that way. Let's try that. Let's try that. Trial and error. This is just my own little pet project bow, so I'm not really worried about making big errors, just learning more. I mean, already I feel like I've learned quite a bit. I just hope my rate of making mistakes slows down a little bit. Take some pressure off this. You're stuck on me, dog. Take this cable off entirely, so we don't dick with it. So I think I'm going to want to. I'll take the string off. I'll put that on last, because I think I'm going to need a lot more tension to get that cable. thinking I should be able to take this. There's one. Okay. Split sides on. I'll also probably look online, see if I can download a manual for this bow. In the last bow, that Pearson, I've just had a hell of a time finding out any information about that bow whatsoever. So my game plan with that one was to look up and find some type of manual, and I have had just no luck with that. Okay, so now got my string. Go through the split, around the idler. Ain't right. No, no, no. You have to go over the top of it. Ooh, mama. Okay. So we're gonna go over, going over the top of it like this. And then under, go through that split. Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. We're back in it, I think. Okay. The other thing that's hard about this is, like, obviously I want to talk through what I'm doing a little bit. It's just kind of challenging. I guess I just kind of talk to myself. I don't know. Is that the way I should do this? Gosh dang it. Yeah, I really hope there's a bow tech somewhere watching this like, oh my god, what's this dude doing? But you know what? This is how I learn. I learn by making a fool out of myself a couple times and learning from those egregious errors. Again, the amount of things that I learned just working on that Ben Pearson was, yeah, it was something. But it shoots. I shoot that bow every day, almost. And yeah, it's still out there, just living its best life. Twist. That's what I also don't like, so I've got to keep turning this bow. Okay. Now, put it on there. Putting a little bit more heat on these limbs. Look like they're holding up okay. I backed the limb bolts out. I don't know, what I felt like was enough. I guess we'll see. At least took some tension off the limbs. seated there. Get in there, you dog. You dog. All right. We're in. We are in. So now I'm going to we'll start cranking this thing down. I'm going to check to make sure we stay in all the things we need to stay in all the right grooves. That's good. Okay. Feel that. Is that supposed to be like that? I don't think it's supposed to be like that. I think I was supposed to go under that. So what I'm looking at, something I might have just goofed up. So here, see my finger. So there's my split bus right there, and here's my string, and it's going through the Y of that. I don't think it's supposed to be that way. So I might need to, I will twist her back down, and I will try to fix that. Maybe I could even just split cable off. I'm also interested to see the quality of this string compared to the string I have on my Pearson. And that one, just my first time again, I could spend $100 on a string, but you know, I'm working on a bow that's free. Okay, that already looks better to me. Yep. Okay. So again, I'm going to compare before and after. So there, you can see it's not going, it was going through this Y right there. That made me kind of uncozy. Okay, so now as I take the press, I start easing it back into tension. I'm just checking to make sure everything stays on, because I'm already off over here. It's a good thing I checked. This little fella. Is that right? Okay, I think that's how it's supposed to be. Check my picture. Okay, so going up and around with that. Yeah, we good. We're good. And if not, we'll figure it out. Okay, strings are getting tight, cable's getting tight. Should probably get this cable in the roller guard. There. All right, how we doing? All right, I've got enough tension now on everything. That, we're good. That's a string and cable replacement. Whew. I feel like I should have like Theo Vaughn with me when I do that. Like, make it feel so good, make you want to kick a fat kid at Walmart. Okay, and I still got these limb bolts backed out pretty far. Maybe not far enough. That still feels hell hard. And I'm still like how bad do I want to draw this thing back yet? lot more let off than my Ben Pearson, for sure. I'll have to be gentle with that. Well, I think for this one, that's probably where I'll end it. And again, if like 10 people watch this, I'd probably call that a win. I know I'm mostly talking to myself for my own personal good, but I'm really interested in self-educating myself in skills. Whoa. And I wouldn't mind doing maybe like a little bit of apprentice work, maybe with a bow tech, just to kind of learn some nuanced things. But man, I think between what's on YouTube out there, like even this video, hopefully that inspires somebody to get involved in this intelligently. I didn't just rip into these right away. I did my due diligence on what do I need to be careful of. I want to be safe. I don't want to be getting a bow that's going to explode on me, or take my fingers off, anything like that. So yeah, I think that's where we'll end it here. So the next thing that I'll be working on, I'll be working on installing a D-loop, which I've practiced. Doing D-loops is kind of a fun little deal. I'm gonna have to find out something about this arrow rest. I don't know, maybe somebody, Tiger Tough arrow rest. Real interesting. My Ben Pearson just has a whisker biscuit on it, which, I mean, for the quality that I'm up for, that works fine enough. I think I do have a Trophy Ridge cheapo sight coming and a stabilizer. I do, at least with my Pearson, I like shooting with a wrist sling. Walmart this time of year, I've learned, has got some good deals on archery stuff. I got this wrist sling for a pretty good price. I got some inserts, because I got a new bag target and it was just pulling all of my inserts out, like their factory arrows, just pulling all the inserts out. So I got some things. Trail cam. I got a cellular trail cam for $50. I got 2 more coming that I got off Mercari because I'm a compulsive buyer. Don't tell my wife. She'll be all right. She's cool with it. Probably. I'll just have to make it up. But anyway, so thanks for watching. I hope to do some more videos like this, maybe grow things out. Again, if like 10 people watch this, I think I'd call that a good deal. I don't even know what I'm going to call this channel yet. I don't have like a super sweet sign off. So yeah, we'll get into the D-loop. The draw length felt okay. It says 29. I'm closer. I'm about 6'2". I got really long arms for 6'2", so I'm pushing a 30-inch draw length, I think. But so I won't really know until I get a draw board and start getting things dialed in. So yeah. Anyway, we'll call that a day. Later.